Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back in a video. I read on a Facebook group for Celtic that it is the club's birthday today, although the day's not nearly over, as I put in the description. But yeah, I thought I'd make some videos, although because I found out a bit later than planned, I didn't quite get round to making some before. But yeah, I thought I'd make some of my list videos I often do. Maybe I'll make 4 parts if I can, but some of them will have to be belated. But anyway, I want to talk about some of my updated ideas for Celtic, for the club, and how I hope those ideas will benefit the club on its, I think it's 135th birthday today. Any Celtic fans can correct me. I was a bit ashamed to not know because I suppose I haven't been a Celtic fan for a huge amount of time, so I can't remember when it was I was a Celtic fan, but I didn't grow up a Celtic fan or knowing a huge amount about the club, or having an interest in the club so much, because I was more of just a fan of Italian football. But now I support Italian football teams and Celtic, and I'd love to make a partnership between them, as I often say. But anyway, um, yeah, hopefully I will have some new ideas than ones I've covered before. But I think I covered them quite a while back, so these might be refreshed from before. But anyway, I try not to waffle. I'd love to hear from football fans, especially, and especially fellow Celtic fans or people from Celtic nations or countries, as I would put it, and or people from different backgrounds, about what you think about Celtic, even if it's like your second favourite club or whatever, or even people who don't like Celtic, and possibly talk about some of the things they might not like about the club if you want, or post whatever you want anyway. But I welcome any comments, especially preferably polite ones or constructive ones, even constructive criticism and things like that. But anyway, here goes. Here's some of my ideas. Number one, as ever, I would love to encourage as much investment and sponsorship and funds, basically, and as much money into Celtic as possible, just as I would with the town teams. So yeah, I hope to encourage people to invest in the club. Number two, I think it'd be great if the club itself had, like, on its website and YouTube and other forms of social media, as well as YouTube, like on its Facebook and whatever other forms of social media it has around the world, including in Asia, Far East, and across Africa, and wherever else. I think it'd be great if the club talked about some of the facts and figures about the club, and tried to promote the club, especially in developing countries or around the world, and let people know about the club, like the charitable work it does, um, how it's founded as a charity and things like that for the deprived Irish Catholic community in Glasgow, and hopefully that will encourage more people to support the club as well from around the world, especially of the Irish descent, of the Irish diaspora, of Irish descent around the world, who might not even know much about it. The club, I'm sure most people of Irish descent probably do, but yeah, hopefully more people, even those who are probably not even that much into football, could perhaps support the club for political reasons. But yeah, I think it'd be great if as much information as possible was out there, including, like, the club could do stuff about its birthday and things like that. Number three, I'd love for the club, as often mentioned, to be like tax exempt or pay the lowest amount of tax as possible, possibly like break even with the tax man, so to speak. Like, if the club got money from state aid, or from like lottery funds or governmental funds or whatever, local council funds or things like that. And if the club did manage to save money on taxes, I think it should invest in, like, the local community, which is a deprived area of the country, of the UK, compared to the rest of the UK. It's Glasgow is quite a deprived area. Obviously, that's where the club is based. So I think for the charity work they do as well. But in this case, if, like, for whatever money they're saving on taxes, they could perhaps use to create, like, football opportunities for youngsters in Glasgow, like people to practice their football, to get fit, keep active, improve their diets, get education on diets and things like how to become more fit, which would hopefully be of mutual benefit to the club, but also to the community. Disadvantaged people, like, you can stop them from smoking or drinking, or at least if it does so for like a few hours a week at least, or even more, where they do their training and practice, so as many hours as possible. That would stop them from smoking and drinking and taking drugs and getting involved in crime and stuff like that. So I think it'd be good to see if they're getting tax exemptions for doing that good work, which would go to a good cause, which which arguably is what tax is for, perhaps. Number four, again, I'd love to see how the club. I'd love to discuss with others like and share ideas about how the club could perhaps generate more money, and encourage more investments and sponsorship deals and things like that. And number five, I'd love to hear from my fellow Celtic fans about like what your dreams are for the club, like what you would love for the club to have, to achieve in the future. Number six, um, there's a company called spelled CEX, which on the advert they pronounce. I don't know if I should say this, but they pronounce it sex on the advert. But I'm just going to call it CEX. But I'd love for them to sponsor like Italian teams like Serie A teams, Serie B, Serie C, even Serie D teams, or possibly even lower league teams in Italy, and also Celtic. So like on the shirts, on the kits, it could say CEX, and then what they do, like buying and selling games, and things like that. So, but at the same time, like I'd love for them to invest as much money as possible through that sponsorship deal. So maybe even like £1 million for different Italian clubs, and possibly if they could invest that much in Celtic, I think it'd be pretty cool. Obviously, that could go towards some way to benefiting the club. Even though it's not in football terms, it's not a huge amount of money, but I mean, even in Scotland, it's not a huge amount of money. But yeah, again, I think it'd be great if the club got as much investment as possible from all sorts of companies. I would welcome sponsorship from like Cascade Investments, Berkshire Hathaway, and companies like that, even, which would be pretty cool. It'd be quite interesting to see if Celtic actually had billions to invest in a league like Scotland. How I suppose it would be very easy for them, but it'd be interesting to see if they could then compete in the Champions League. Although I suppose the fact they're in a lower league compared to other leagues like lower level could put off investors. But then again, if the club has so many supporters around the world, billions and billions of fans, hopefully, I think that would be pretty interesting to see if investors and sponsors would want to invest in the club and how it could raise the brand value for the club. Number seven, I think it'd be great if the it would be great if the website and especially YouTube channel and all the social media, all the socials, as some people call them, had information about Celts and things like that. And hopefully that would encourage people of Celtic nations or countries or whatever we call them, the 8 Celtic countries I believe there are in the world. It would encourage people from those Celtic countries and Celtic nations or whatever we call them to support Celtic. Number 8, I would love to encourage my fellow people of colour, P.O.C, to support Celtic because I think our rivals are quite racist, as I often say. Number 9, I'd love to see ways, like again, share ways about listen to, or read from other fans, or even listen to other fans about how to attract investment from build the fan base. I beg pardon, which will hopefully attract investment and build the brand value as well. But how to attract more people to support Celtic and find out about Celtic from across Africa and Asia and around the world, to also fall in love with Celtic. And I think it'd be great to see, I'd love to have groups like poets for Celtic, artists for Celtic, writers for Celtic, designers for Celtic, marketers for Celtic, entrepreneurs for Celtic, and all sorts of groups like that, which hopefully again will increase the fan base and most importantly perhaps increase like the investment and sponsorship that goes into basically the funds and the money that goes into the club. Number 10, on that note, I think it'd be great if the club had, maybe I'm being naive here, but it would be great, I think, if the club had its own special bank account, and fans knew that if they donated to that or bought any merchandise or tickets or spent any other money on the club and it went to that specific account, that it would be earmarked, if you like, and specifically spent, targeted on buying even better players, investing in the youth, like academies in Glasgow and around Scotland and the UK and around the world, including in Ireland and Italy and across Asia and Africa. Again, with the partnership with Italian football, I'd love them to practice with Italians at youth level as well. And as I hope to benefit both Italian football and Celtic, I think it'd be great if they had academies in Italy as well, and Italian clubs could perhaps have academies in partnership with Celtic, perhaps even. And I think it also would be cool if if the club invested like 10% into like marketing, and half of that could go towards the CSCs, which are the Celtic sports clubs, and having more of those around the world, as many of them as possible, which again hopefully will attract even more of a fan base, and they'll spend money on the club, which will hopefully benefit the club, and hopefully they'll be happy to see the club do well. So hopefully it'll be money well spent, and 10% towards the foundation. So I think it'd be great to see 10% to all of those 4 or 5 areas, and the remaining 50 or 60% that the club generates could go towards investors, shareholders, or whatnot, equity holders, and that sort of thing. So hope you enjoyed this video, and as ever, I'd love to hear what you think. Peace and love.